Synopsis of the Books of the Bible by J. N. Darby, Genesis 48 through 50. Joseph as the heir in Canaan. Lastly, in chapter 48, besides the prophetical character and important in the history of Israel, we see Joseph as heir, the double portion, mark of the eldest, heir of the father among the Jews, being given to him. See 1 Chronicles 5, verses 1 through 2. And not only as heir, but as heir in Canaan, Joseph heir there where Rachel had died, that is, where Israel and the Jewish beloved one of God's, the failed are and gone. Here too is the ordered according to the purpose and the counsel of God, not according to nature. And Joseph and his children possessed the heir and the portion taken from the hand of the enemy by power, but for Joseph, after his rejection, is even Christ as glorified and the heir of the world. Now the pledge of Israel, re-establishment in the land, God's patience with evil. We have then a lot of the children of Jacob, the two facts, the burying of Jacob and the commandments concerning the bones of Joseph, giving as a certain pledge of the reestablishment of Israel left according to what has been said to Abraham, and the appearance of abandonment in the strange country, wherein the patience of God bore yet with the inquiry of the Ammonites, a patience which strikes only when it is impossible to bear the evil any longer. Genesis 49 and 50. Remark the beauty of the grace of Joseph in Genesis 45, verses 7 through 8, and Genesis 50, verse 17 and 19 and 20. The difference between the prophetic blessings of Jacob and Moses. It seems to me that there is a difference between the prophecies of Jacob and Moses as to the tribes. Here the prophecy refers to the responsibility of the first parents sought of the tribe as Reuben, Simeon, Levite, and to the counsels of God which puts forward Judah, the stock from which the Lord sprang as regards of royalty, and Joseph, type of Christ, as Nazareth's separation from the Nazarene, as separated from the brethren, and afterwards exalted. The rest, if we expect Benjamin, who ravaged in power, given a general character of the portion and the conduct of the tribes of Israel. Dan in his wickedness and even in his character of traitor, I may add, and besides the royal place of Judah maintained as the distinct tribe till Christ comes up to the end of Issachar. It is a sad history of Israel and the responsibility and when befall them. Dan adds to the treacherous unfaithfulness, as indeed he set up, we may say, tribal idolatry. This casts the faith of Jacob and waiting for God's salvation, and grace comes in. All the following is blessings and Christ the shepherd and the stone of Israel. Moses gives rather the history of the people as entering into the country and leaving the wilderness, and we find the priesthood and the people to be the 2 points brought into promise, although power and special blessings be given to Judah. The moral character and the failure of Israel and the purpose of God. I add a few details as to the prophesied blessings hope to make it more clear. We may remark in the tribe's responsibilities and the future of Israel and the firstborn according to nature. Reuben represents Israel and the characteristic. Simeon and Levi, who come after and will maintain their rights by natural force and know better than we have the purpose of God in the king and the whole royal tribe, till Christ comes to the gathering of the people shall be. Joseph comes with Benjamin at the end, representative of Christ, personal glorified, as Benjamin of Christ in judgment on earth. Joseph as the personal representative of Christ separates from his brothers graciously and blesses as the heir of all the resources of God. Dan before this, though, owns an judging tribe, and so Israel in him, yet made out the apostate and power of Satan in Israel, which led to the remnant to be looked beyond the portion of the people, unfaithful in every way, to him who was the salvation. We have waited for the salvation, O Jehovah. Salvation will come with the true Joseph. I rather think, as already noticed, that in the other tribes we have the distinct contract of what Israel is opposed before Christ, who has taken the full Joseph character in glory and has answered the faith of the remnant expressed in verse 18. And after, and then thus, in these characters of the tribes, we have the whole history of Israel, Judah and Joseph, having been already marked out and distinct in their history. Judah is surety for the connection with Benjamin and Joseph in all his histories. Thus, after Judah in Zebulun and Issachar, we have Israel mixed with the world, bruised in the waters to seek profit, and a slave to be for the rest, and quite. But the end in Dan and the apostate, so that the remnant in the spirit of prophecy waits for the salvation which is to come with the true Joseph. All is properly when this is looked to. Once overcome, he overcomes at the last. His bread is fat and yields royal dainties in his own land, not seeking them by mixture with the subject to the world. And Naphtali is the liberty of God, the full of godly words. In Joseph and Benjamin, we have the crowning of all blessings and endowed characters of Christ, the heavenly heir of all the power and the strength upon the earth, has subdued all. So that the whole series would be this. Reuben, Simeon, and Levi, the moral characters and failure of responsible Israel. It will be found as even corrupt and violent, such is man. Next, the purpose of God in Judah that remains still, Shiloh, come to whom the gathering of the people belong. But he was rejected when he came to Judah, and was no gathering. Beauties and bands were broken. Delivery and the blessings through Christ as one separated, and now the heavenly glorified man. Next, the state of Israel, being such, encounters the nations which was not in the power of God, is corrupt, subject to their yoke of ease, and apostate, still owned as the people, however, and then the remnant, looking to the only source, and waiting not for the good of Israel, but salvation from Jehovah Elohim. Thereon delivered the blessings for Israel, and finally, what we have already seen as the double character of Christ, separated from his brothers, see note, and then glorified. Joseph and Benjamin presents him to us as the heavenly glorified man to whom all is entrusted, and all conquering Lord on the earth. Note, Joseph is the characteristic in Deuteronomy also. End of note. Israel's past and future history in Jacob's prophesic blessing. On the whole, I think we have a complete history of Israel in this way. First, the failure, Reuben, Simeon, and Levi, corrupt and violence, as already remarked, and Judah, God's purpose in his people in connection with the royal stock and Shiloh. This is plain enough. To him, the gathering of the people was to Zebulun and Issachar, and shows the mixture with the subject to the Gentiles and the gain and prosperity. Dan and the treacherous of the Satanistic power, when faith waits for Jehovah's salvation. Gad, Asher, Nephi, and Joseph and Benjamin, the fruit and the power of salvation, when the shepherd, the stone of Israel, shall be also there, when prosperity full in Israel shall overpass its bounds, and victorious power shall belong to them. The fear of God showed in Joseph, and the true basis of power and blessing. Personally, the fear of God was in Joseph from the beginning to the end, a mighty principle and the true basis of power. Whatever his glory, he does not forget Canaan or the earthly promise. He sends his bones there. Not as Christ, so Joseph, when Israel is gone, forgives his brothers their wrong and nourishes them with his riches. So it is with Christ. He is above the wrongs and the just fear of them that reject him. He has blessed Israel from his own stores of heavenly glory. The Lord hasten in this day.